Hello, and thank you for tuning in. My name is Matthew Ling. I am the project lead for the Cambridge Canopy Project at Cambridge City Council. This presentation sets out to summarise the achievements of the project over the past 3 years, describing what we have done, why we have done it, and what its importance is, and also, more importantly, how you can help to make Cambridge a more future-proof city. First off, we'll address the question, what exactly is the Cambridge Canopy Project? Well, it's Cambridge City Council's Green Infrastructure Investment Pilot under the Interreg 2Cs programme Nature Smart Cities project. And more simply put, the Cambridge Canopy Project is all about trees, specifically planting more of them and giving better protection to the ones that we already have. And the main driver for this is to make Cambridge a more climate resilient city. But why is this important that we build climate resilience in our towns and cities? This is because, as many leading figures and organisations have widely communicated, climate change is the greatest threat to life as we know it. Extreme events, phenomena and impacts linked to the effects of climate change are increasingly being recorded right across the world. And these will impact all of us in many and differing ways, regardless of where we live. And this will be of particular importance in urban settings. The UN project that the global population will be 9.7 billion people in 2050. It is also estimated that nearly 70% of the global population will live in urban areas. So that is 6.79 billion people that will be living in towns and cities across the world. Therefore, there is a huge emphasis to make our towns and cities climate resilient and as prepared as possible for a 2050 climate scenario. And that's why we're using trees as a green infrastructure solution to achieve climate resilience in Cambridge. The specific drivers of climate change that we're targeting to build resilience around are urban heat stress and stormwater attenuation. Although they may not typically have capes on, trees really are like the superheroes of the natural world. And this is why their presence, especially in urban environments, is so important because of the sheer range and diversity of benefits they provide us with that help improve our well-being and the support that they can afford to wildlife more broadly. And the huge range of benefits we realise from being exposed to trees and canopy cover doesn't just extend to the climate benefits they provide. Their presence and being exposed to them has been found to have measurable benefits on us in numerous ways. Here are just a few examples, including increasing educational attainment, reduction of stress and reducing the need for antidepressant drugs, aiding post-surgical recovery, and reducing the rates of violent crime in our streets. But they also clean our air, protect us from noise pollution, provide us with building materials and food, and can lessen the effects of severe weather events. And these benefits are realised by everyone. Urban forestry as a concept sees us manage a city's trees as one population, regardless of ownership. And this same approach means that the benefits provided by every individual tree in our collective urban forest are realised by all residents, users, and visitors to our city alike. Even without consciously knowing it, everyone benefits from the services provided by trees in our urban forest. In summary, therefore, more trees and other forms of so-called green infrastructure will help to make our towns and cities adapt to the likely impacts that will be brought about by climate change and contribute to mitigating or lessening its effects. This is achieved through reflecting and absorbing sunlight, providing shade, preventing engineered surfaces from heating up and storing the sun's energy, by actively cooling the air, capturing and storing carbon, locking away harmful air pollutants, reducing the risk and severity of storm-related flood events, and reducing our dependence on air conditioning and heating, for example. And it is for these reasons that we have been working hard to grow Cambridge's urban forest and increase the level of tree canopy cover across the city. I've mentioned green infrastructure a few times now, so let's just have a quick look at that. Green infrastructure encompasses the network of natural and semi-natural areas and elements within any given area. As we discussed on the early slides, these natural features have the ability to deliver a wide range of environmental, economic, and social benefits, helping to address challenges such as those brought about by climate change. Using this definition, we can see that many green infrastructure elements already exist in our towns and cities. Features like mature trees, parks, hedgerows, flower beds, and drainage ditches. These can also be supplemented with modern features like green or living walls and roofs, rain gardens, and permeable paving. The beauty of green infrastructure solutions, as opposed to traditional built or grey infrastructure options, is that they deliver multiple benefits. So even if they are deployed solely for climate resilience purposes, they will deliver in a manifold fashion on so many fronts. For example, if we think about surface drainage, traditionally soakaways and drains direct surface water to concrete, metal, or plastic drains and culverts, and away to a wastewater treatment works. This delivers only one benefit, the job it's intended to do, drainage. But if we compare that with a green infrastructure alternative, for example, a bioswale, as shown in this image, which is a form of sustainable urban drainage, this will carry out the same drainage role, whilst also slowing the flow of water, reducing any associated flood risk, and filtering out sediments and some pollutants. It can also be planted up with wildflowers, shrubs, and trees, providing habitat, shade, and shelter, and a whole host of other physical and mental well-being benefits. And it can also help lessen the urban heat island effect too. This is why green infrastructure has such a vital role to play in the establishment of climate-resilient urban settings that will remain livable into the future. To achieve climate resilience in Cambridge, the aim of the Cambridge Canopy Project was to increase tree canopy cover in the city by 2%, taking it from 17% to 19% by the 2050s, allowing for establishment of newly planted trees and growth across the whole urban forest in order to future-proof the city. Typically, towns and cities across the UK have less than 10% tree canopy cover, so we're actually already in quite a good position, but we want to ensure that Cambridge is as well catered for as possible for future climate-related threats. The project takes an urban forestry approach and employs 4 standard management practices to help us achieve its aim. These are manage more, plant more, protect more, and engage more. To achieve our aim of 2% canopy cover increase across the city, mathematical modelling suggested that we would need an additional 16,000 trees, as well as managing and sustaining our existing tree stock and factoring in rates of growth and loss. A loss rate of 25% of newly planted trees is also factored into this scenario, building in some room for failure. Through the project, Cambridge City Council planned to plant 2,000 nursery-raised standard-sized trees across streets and open spaces in the city between 2019 and 2023. But in actual fact, we've managed to plant 2,384 standards, 250 half standards, and 600 whips, far exceeding our initial target. Whilst our 2% target might sound modest, in real terms, this will mean an additional 82 hectares of the city being covered by tree canopy, or to help you visualise this, that is equivalent to about 120 football pitches covered by trees. In addition to the 2,384 trees which we planted on public open spaces, we have also given away 953 half-standard sized trees through the popular Free Trees for Babies scheme, which the Council has been running for the past 20 years. We have also given away 195 free trees through the Neighbourhood Canopy campaign, which specifically targets low canopy cover areas of the city that are also classified as being deprived by the Index of Multiple Deprivation. We were also pleased to donate nearly 100 heritage variety fruit trees to Cambridge Co Farm. Along with planting more trees, giving free trees away to residents, and developing tools and approaches for better tree management, we have also sought to protect more of our existing trees across the city. This is one of the 4 pillars of the urban forestry approach we have taken through the project, and it's really important. as these are the trees that we derive most benefit from. Since the Cambridge Canopy Project began, we have issued 195 tree preservation orders, helping to safeguard our city's urban forest for the future. So to have a little tally up, that's 2,384 new trees that have been planted across the streets and open spaces of Cambridge, and 1,248 freely given away to residents, totaling 3,632 trees. This leaves us 12,368 trees short of our 16,000 tree target needed to realise that 2% canopy cover aim. So what was our plan for addressing this shortfall? Well, the greatest opportunity for getting these trees planted lies with the residents of Cambridge. As landowners, you have it within your power to plant trees wherever you want on your land. So the question was, how can we persuade homeowners across the city to plant more than 12,000 trees in your gardens to help us grow our urban forest? And this really has been the biggest challenge that we have faced in the project, especially when you factor in the complications of multiple COVID-related lockdowns too. And the key to unlocking the potential for more planting on privately owned land really is communication. So we've been working hard on the urban forestry management approach of engage more. Not only has engaging more meant fostering a sense of collective responsibility and management of our urban forest, it has also been about getting greater buy-in amongst all stakeholders across the city about the importance of trees and the role that everyone can play in looking after them and planting more. We have sought to raise awareness with the residents of Cambridge about the huge range of benefits that trees and their canopy cover deliver us with, and that by working collaboratively to grow our urban forest, we can scale up small individual efforts into local, regional, national and global level change. To help raise awareness of the project and its ambitions, we've developed numerous communication materials, including leaflets, posters, tree tags, our web pages, a Twitter account, and an activity booklet. We've published 17 articles and releases through the Council's outlets like Cambridge Matters, Open Door, and via our website. We've had 14 articles published in local news outlets, including the Cambridge Independent, and more on Facebook groups and through professional organisations and institutes. We have delivered 7 conference presentations. We have also done 5 radio interviews, have featured on podcasts and local TV news channels, and have developed content for online festivals and events. We've delivered guest lectures for university students and have even run a 20-second advert for a total of 4 months on all park and ride buses in the city. And we've partnered with a lot of different organisations, all in the name of trying to achieve the greatest impact possible during the project's lifetime in order to realise our goal. Because we need you, the residents of Cambridge, to get involved and to get planting trees in your gardens to help grow our urban forest. And without knowing about our mission and being aware how you can help, we would not have got off the ground. And this is so important because unlocking the potential of residential land in the city is key to the Cambridge Canopy Project. The front and back gardens of the city are like green oases. They already provide homes to hundreds of thousands of trees and shrubs and form the spine of our urban forest. But they also offer the greatest potential for growing our urban forest further. There are more than 54,000 individual residences in Cambridge, with an estimated 45,000 of these having at least a front or back garden. So, if each of these properties with a garden planted a single new tree, we would have 45,000 new trees, increasing the total tree population of the city by more than 13%. To help facilitate this, last winter we were very excited to partner with Ashridge Tree Nurseries to arrange a 20% discount for Cambridge City residents, hoping to provide the means and further incentivisation for residents to plant trees in their gardens. And if residents don't have a garden or don't have the space in their garden for a new tree, we are a partner with Trees for Streets, enabling residents to sponsor tree planting in streets and parks across the city. Cambridge City Council was the first local authority to partner with this national charity. Through this partnership, more than 150 new trees have already been realised across the city. Our engagement schemes also focus on helping to manage our city's trees more. One of the most important Help Us campaigns is our watering campaign. We publish a Google map of our newly planted trees to share electronically, and every new tree has a Water Me tag attached to its stake. Now I wanted to take the opportunity to briefly spotlight a few of our planting activities from the project. In November and December 2021, we supported a community-led planting programme on Logan's Meadow to expand and enhance this local nature reserve, introducing 250 new trees to the site. These were in addition to the core 2,000 trees which we set out to plant under the project. In February 2022, we held a planting session on Parker's Piece, right in the centre of the city. In total, 33 new trees were introduced to this site, and 14 of them were planted by the community on this day, bringing together more than 80 local stakeholders. In March 2022, we planted a semi-mature elm tree on Queen's Green as part of the Queen's Green Canopy initiative, commemorating Her Majesty's Platinum Jubilee. Also in March 2022, we planted 2 new trees on Jesus Green with members of the Cambridge branch of the Soroptimist International group to mark their centenary year. And we've worked alongside our community engagement team and members of the public, as well as corporate volunteers, to deliver numerous planting events across the city. And a huge thank you must go out to everyone involved. And at the end of March 2022, the city's first public tiny forest was planted with volunteers helping to plant the 600 new trees and shrubs that will develop this small and dense forest in the city. And we've collaborated with Cambridge Curiosity and Imagination, a local arts and creative charity that supports childhood education and development, to host multiple tree-themed events like this fantastical forest of more than 50 artworks created by city school children. All of the work and achievements of the Cambridge Canopy Project would not have been possible without our involvement in the Interreg 2C's programme Nature Smart Cities project. This is our parent project, if you like, and it has provided the funding through which we've been able to run the project. Without innovative funding like this, the Council's staff would not have been able to dedicate the time and effort required to achieve the outreach and impact needed to reach our aim. Following the project's closure, the tree team will continue to focus on their statutory responsibilities to ensure our city's trees are safe and well managed. Engagement initiatives that were developed or enhanced during the project, including, for example, our free tree schemes and public planting activities, will also continue as a legacy of the project's success. The Nature Smart Cities project is co-funded up to the value of €6.38 million. It brought together 11 project partners, consisting of 8 city partners and 3 academic partners across the 4 project countries. It started in September 2018 and will run through until March 2023. The main aim of the Nature Smart Cities project was to develop a business model to support investment in green infrastructure and build climate resilience in towns and cities. There were 4 main inputs supporting the development of the business model. These were interviews with local authorities, a review of finance options, geographical, biophysical and economic data, and a review of valuation tools. After development, the business model was tested and refined with 7 pilot projects, one of which was the Cambridge Canopy Project. The business model is now live and is freely available for anyone to download and use, along with step-by-step guidance and a technical manual. It's hosted by one of the project's academic partners, the University of Antwerp. The output of the business model is a fact sheet for decision makers, as in the draft example shown here. These are intended to present the business case for a number of possible options. In this example, a grey scenario and a green scenario for restoring an area with pavements damaged by tree roots is presented. By analysing and comparing the benefits provided by each proposal, whether that be monetary or non-monetary, or a combination of both, the fact sheet intends to succinctly provide the decision maker with the information needed to make an informed conclusion as to what the best option is for their town or city. Through the urban forestry approach that the Cambridge Canopy Project has taken, and the integration of more trees and other forms of green infrastructure into our towns and cities, we can make positive change and build climate resilience, leading to more livable and sustainable places for the future. Finally, I just want to say thank you very much for your interest and engagement in the Cambridge Canopy Project. If you would like more information on the project or details of how you can get involved to support trees across the city, please visit our website. And lastly, please remember, there is a tree out there that's suitable for almost any conceivable space, even in a container on a balcony. If you can, plant a new tree this winter and help us to grow our urban forests and make our city more climate resilient.